Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board's Soybean Podcast. Today we're talking with Dr. Chris Henry. He's an associate professor and irrigation water management engineer at the University of Arkansas. His funded project is promoting irrigation water management in soybean.
What you want to know if you're farming is, I need to know when I need to start that field because I've got multiple fields to start, multiple other things going on with pests or fertility or disease pressures or just fixing equipment. Very busy time of year. And this takes all that information, condenses it into something simple, which is how many days away am I from needing to start that pump on that field.
So is this a continuation of the project we checked in with you on?
Yeah, we developed it further, I think. We originally started doing these on-farm demonstrations where we help farmers and we put the equipment out there and measured the water and then showed them how to use the equipment. One of the things with soybeans was that we realized that we didn't understand fully the water use relationship of the soybean plant in the southern environment. So we started a project in Mariana where we were measuring sap flow, and so we're measuring about 10 plants at a time, and we aggregate that. We take all the leaves off, we measure how much surface area is on the leaf, we weigh the plants when we're done. We have to move plants about every 10 to 14 days and put it on a new plant down in the canopy, and so Ismanoff does that work. And so we've done that for several years now. So we built this relationship now of how much water at each growth stage we're using, and we've kind of aggregated that into one piece of information. And we've learned that what's happened is we're using about another inch of water than we originally assumed we were using to finish out a soybean crop.
That's expensive, yeah.
Well, that's really important because that inch of water means we need another inch of irrigation, another inch of rainfall to get us all the way through to get the full dry matter accumulation that we expect out of that soybean plant. So we built that information. We put that into our mobile apps. We have this really nice mobile app that helps interpret sensors. We've got 40 telemetry units that we put out every year in the Irrigation Contest. And what do you do with that sensor data? That's really hard for people to get their hands around how to use this soil moisture sensor data. So the app basically is me in your hands, my recommendations in your hands. So the app takes into account you put it on the readings, what point in the growth stage the plants are, so we know what the water use is of the plant at that point in time, how much allowable depletion you're willing to accept, how long it takes for you to irrigate that field, your soil type, and in 30 seconds, this will take all this information and give you something really simple, which is how many days you need to wait to start your pump.
So it gives you action items, basically.
And that's what everybody wants to know. They don't want to become irrigation scientists. I don't want farmers to become, if they want to, that's great. So that's what our mobile app does for people that are using watermark sensors.
So speaking of schools, irrigation schools.
So we've been doing irrigation schools now for 4 years. They're intense trainings. So we do a surge irrigation school, we do a soil moisture irrigation school, we do a rice irrigation school. They're 2 to 4 hour schools each, and we limit it to 20 people. And for the surge irrigation school, what we do is we go over kind of the basics, how the surge valve works, some of the physics, so you understand kind of why they work the way they do. Then we put a surge valve controller in front of you, and we have you program for the different scenarios, different soil types, different situations that people run into with surge valves that make them frustrating. So when you walk out of the class, you've learned how to program a surge valve and you know how to do it. For the soil moisture class, we do the same thing. We spend about half an hour on some of the soil physics.
You guys still making the sensors in that class? Or is that?
Yep. We go over the basics. We have you make sensors. We actually go outside and put them in. We talk about how to interpret the sensors, what the numbers mean, using the app. We look at charts so you can see different scenarios, what you might expect to see, or if you see a sensor reading trend, what it means and how to interpret it. We give you the equipment basically. We charge $500 usually for the class. You walk out with the slide hammer, the manual reader, a set of sensors you've made as a template to make more.
Instead of just having data that you can't make any sense of, the app helps give you the to-do.
That's right. So if you go through the school and you download the app, then you've got all the tools to actually go out and really start using them at a high level right away.
Let's talk about the Irrigation Yield Contest for a minute.
The contest is my way of letting people try things and becoming their own investigator and instigator of irrigation. So we've had around 200 people each in the schools, the surge schools, and I think 250 people in the irrigation school. We had over 150 people go through our irrigation contest. We've done it for 4 years. We give away something over almost $70,000 in prizes. It's well supported by the industry. So the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board, the Arkansas Corn and Grain Sorghum Promotion Board, so Rice Tech, AgSense, Trellis, Symmetrics, Micrometer, Delta Plastics. CropX has joined us in the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service supports.
Grew really quickly.
Yes, and what's great about the contest, I think, is that you take a 30-acre field, any equipment that you want, we give you. You got to have a flow meter. We install and seal this flow meter so we know the water use, the irrigation water that went on the crop. We measure the rainfall with models. When you get done, you get a report card that tells you how you did. We're starting to give them history now of how they've been doing over time, which is really powerful, I think, if you're trying to figure out how to become a better farmer. We couldn't do this without the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board. But all the county agents that help with the irrigation contests, every contest has to have a supervisor. So many of the county agents are involved in these irrigation contests, as well as the Natural Resource Conservation Service staff that also serve as supervisors, especially the irrigation technicians that help the NRCS. They are often heavily involved with the irrigation contest fields.
Very good. So how do growers who have not experienced this yet, how do they get involved?
That's a great question. You can always download the apps on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The other materials are on our website, www.uaex.uada.edu/irrigation. The contest information is on that website, as well as all of our fact sheets on how to interpret sensors. We give those and surge valves, all that information is on that website. And then always contact your local county extension agent for more information if you want. We put out over 80 flow meters every year through the contest and other work that we do, and that's first come, first served basis.
Okay, well, cool. Thanks for your time today. Thanks for getting us up to speed on that, and good luck with your winter irrigation schools.
Yeah, well, thank you.